Wow. Welcome to another edition of
Hell,
Chilling
Dallas, the
with
dude was
Zone
coming
and
out of
Niggas really
Company.
be out
nowhere.
here playing with they dick
I am
cheese.
your
Alright, so I'm
host,
not
That
watching
dick
right
cheese
now.
is
Zone.
disgusting. Mercy.
Dick cheese? What
That's
is
Let's
that?
get on
that
into it.
Rico said
Dick
dick cheese. That shit
cheese.
is
Wow.
wild
We have
dirty.
started, by the way.
What up, Street?
That's one way to start off a whole pod.
Stream, man. What the fuck was this?
My fault. You got my bad.
That's how you start off a pod. It's crazy.
The way we started off says a lot.
Fucking dick cheese.
Came in and heard dick
Man,
cheese.
That's a
this the
crazy way to
thought of the
start it up.
pod.
So
Yeah, I'm
niggas said dick cheese. You go crazy.
So how is everybody doing today?
I don't know if you can hear me, but
Oh, there we go. My bad. I'm chilling. What's good, niggas? How y'all feeling? Oh shit.
I'm getting fucking horsed in
God
Battlefield.
man.
So
Speaking of, I need to re-download that shit because
Battlefield.
yeah, just to see what that shit like. Because I missed the sniping and that shit. Like this point and shoot shit in Call of Duty is kind of annoying. I like leading my target. Like I shoot leading my target all the time in Call of Duty accidentally. I'm not a point and shoot kind of nigga.
Tell us more.
Anyway. Yeah. No, yo, honestly, I gotta get that PC shit. That body cam game looks fire.
Shadow 6.
That shit looks insane.
Yeah, I'm definitely probably gonna buy that one soon. Now I think about it.
Oh yeah.
Costs that much,
That looks
and it looks nice. Just wait for y'all to play.
Yep. And hopefully it's a finished product at the same time too. So
They released it already.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, when I
They
say
have
finished product,
multiplayer and they have a story.
Yeah, but it's an
remember,
open
we get
early
games-
release on it,
see?
so it's still they're
We get
still
games-
testing it as it
Yeah,
releases
we
on
get games that's
Steam.
not finished at all, but they still. Oh yeah, the game's completed, but the game is fucked over.
Yeah, they had a couple games like that. They're still pretty good games though.
No, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna keep it real. That one Anthem could have went a long way.
I wish
Yeah,
it did.
that game was
went a long way.
definitely had high
That was a legend.
expectations.
That shit was legitimately a legendary game in the making, and they just like, nah, we gonna drop it early because, these niggas is fiending. No, stupid. Make niggas fiend more. Make them wait
I
and finish the game.
I made all my javelins legendary. Like I still played that game to its core.
Yeah, nah. I mean, I think we all did, to be honest, because that shit was just a dope ass experience overall. But
in the
for
beginning,
whatever fucking reason,
when they started
yeah,
off, yeah.
for whatever reason, they decided to not like make it a fully functional game. I'll say.
They made it
But that
fully
shit-
functional. It stopped. I don't know.
Nah,
I think they're
nah,
pushing
fully
games
fine.
out a little
You
too
know how-
quickly now, to be honest.
definitely.
Some of them lack like a true story, or ones that are meant to be multiplayer don't really have a true sense of multiplayer sense. I mean, look at Last Ronin. What was it? We all expected to have a different type of multiplayer aspect, and I haven't played a
would've been
multiplayer,
Oh.
but you guys all said it could have been better.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't like put the code in. You gotta do this, and you can only be multiplayer for this mission. And then I'm like, what's the purpose? Like nobody wants to play multiplayer like that nowadays.
Yeah.
But I mean, they have
it'd be
changed the
too
game
OP.
though when it comes to multiplayer games. Like when they do updates, like if something doesn't work, they do scrap it. I mean, the game that me and Thad played on PlayStation, Returnals, it wasn't originally a multiplayer game. When they did an update, they made it to a multiplayer after an update where they changed some of the mechanics of the game. So I mean, PlayStation is known for doing that with their games. So we may see that. I just heard or read that they're putting Last of the Ronin on PlayStation's pass and heavily discounted. I'm like, we all could have just
Oh, the
waited.
star shit.
Yeah, we could have just waited
Nah,
just
but
a little bit.
That shit is like the Microsoft rewards. It's the same premise except they put a couple games on there that you can actually buy, which is dope. But it takes a while to accumulate those points. Like you gotta, it's the same thing. You gotta play the games that's on PlayStation Plus, just like you would have to play specific games that's on Game Pass
I feel
to
like
do and
everything's a
unlock the
process.
quests and all that other stupid shit. I mean, you're gonna
Well,
gain points from buying shit, but like you have to play certain game or the games that's on there and on their list to accumulate more points. So it's
I mean, the whole Game Pass and PlayStation Plus thing is cool, but it's also not. Don't think it's gonna stay on there forever. So I am happy I bought Rise of the Ronin because that's a game I'm definitely going back to. But going back to the multiplayer, the fact that I can see my friends' characters that they created on the map, and I can save them. I can take down a whole village with them, and I can't
yeah,
have multiplayer. Like you're teasing. Yeah, that's the absolute craziest tease of
yeah.
multiplayer
You only get
ever.
specific. You get specific missions that you can do multiplayer on.
Are you talking
I
about
ain't gonna front.
Yeah,
Last of the Ronin?
Yeah. The
yeah.
Rise of the Ronin.
Yeah, I need to
That's the
get
one
on that
thing that
back.
I feel like Elder Scrolls, excuse me.
Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring had over it like for sure.
They
Just the
definitely had some
fact that
problems though with their
we could.
online too, though. If you think about it, how many
Nah,
times
they
did we
did.
sit there trying to join each other and we couldn't? It
Yeah.
was complete chaos sometimes.
Wait, which one you talking about?
Elden Ring. When we
Oh
try
yeah,
to, you had to
yeah,
like look for the code. Oh, we put it here. Oh, wait, did you put it by the checkpoint? How far away from the checkpoint?
Stupid.
Like,
Stupid.
Yeah.
Should not have to go through all that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
That
I
shit
gotta
was
look
wild.
for your
2024, like, should not
signature.
be having your multiplayer set up like that.
I mean,
You
now
know,
I get it how
no,
to
it's the
do the whole
dumbest form of
multiplayer,
multi. I
but it
can't
is
stand
dumb.
it.
But I think it has to
Yeah.
do with coding. I think the people make the game first, and
Not like
then
a
they
personal
they they
problem.
say, well, no, it's not a personal problem, but it's a mission problem. If you're creating this game and the forefront ain't multiplayer and it's more single player, and then they add, oh, let's try to make it multiplayer, but the coding of the game is made specifically for a single player experience, and then they go, okay, let's add some multiplayer. That's what it looks like, in my opinion. That's what it looks like. They all say it's like a last idea of it. And they're like, well, we really don't want to get involved with multiplayer because of how much servers and we got to create. Because every time you look at multiplayer games that's made for multiplayer, they look at it as a cash grab, like the Avengers. It's a cash grab. You make this multiplayer game, but there's no depth to it. But you're trying to charge us like Suicide Squad. They're canceling the updates. This there because the game it flopped because they said, oh, let me just put out a cash grab game that you could play as your iconic characters from the DC universe, but the gameplay is very seldom. Yeah, you're playing Boomerang, man, but you don't need to use your Boomerang. Use the guns. Just shoot guns. Why would I want to shoot guns with if I want to throw my Boomerang? Why can't I throw my Boomerang? It makes no sense.
Why do I have a limited amount or a finite amount of speed force that I can use at a particular time frame?
Yeah,
If this motherfucker has a gauntlet that allows him to teleport to the same spot that he just threw his fucking boomer,
yeah.
make
King
it make
Shark.
sense.
Yeah, you can't be King Shark. You got to be a guy who looks like a shark with a Gatling.
Yeah. King Shark, he's a melee bat. He's melee to the core. But nah,
Mm-hmm.
you carry these big ass guns. You shoot this grenade launcher. Because even though you guys superhuman strength, nah, nah. They dropped the ball on a lot of shit just for trying to make a quick buck. And then where they
Yeah,
could have made way more money, they fuck it over.
well, a lot of
They
things
truly
about
do.
money. A lot of things are expensive
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
Um,
That's
I,
true. But did you know what's crazy though? At this point in time now, right? The what is this? The five six well, yeah, the five of us, because what's the name not here yet. But the five of us could literally be a whole team using AI and create a super fire ass video game at this point now. And we can actually make it where it'll be able to truly be a fully playable experience. And we don't need a
Well,
whole multitude because we have the power of AI, and not to mention if we
Well,
talking Unity, the
body,
new
body
Unity.
cam, body cam was made
Divided made about
from
2 people, 2 kids, a
people.
17-year-old and a 20-year-old, bro.
That's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
though.
a teenager and an adult.
But you probably had
Body
someone who was very implemental in the amount of like telling the story of the game. And then you have that one person probably who was really good at making sure the graphics and everything was on point, and then they went from there. Because you have
Yeah,
people
but
who
they
come
use
up with great
100%
ideas, but
vibe too.
they can't apply those
Yeah.
ideas, you know. So they have someone else that can do it for them. They tell a story, and the other person, you know, makes it actually come to life.
Yep, type shit.
That's what
100%
I'm gonna
accurate.
need. Fucking when I start writing or trying to create something, I'm gonna need someone to
Well,
make that
that's why
bitch come
there's
to
so many
life.
different departments. When they're making like a lot of games, it's this visual concept. It's just a lot of things that come into it. It's not just saying this is what I want and make it work. But
A lot of things cost a lot of money and a lot of time to put into it. Um, a lot of time and a lot of money. Everything's just. I think today in today's age, everything's just overly expensive more than it needs to be.
Yeah,
Rather it
inflation's
be,
crazy.
you know, living by yourself, living with somebody, having kids, or like even the dating scene.
to have kids, you got to be making 6 figures already.
Nigga, the dating scene is atrocious right now.
It's fucked.
It is
It's
horrible. Even
completely.
like I don't even know. I would you probably consider like some going out for someone's birthday like a date too, and people like inviting somebody else, and you're expecting, all right, cool. I'm taking someone out for a date because I've seen so many videos of this where a guy would take a woman out for a date for her birthday, and they invite their friends and they expect him to pay for everything. No, this is supposed to be a date for just us, and
See,
you invited them, and now you want me to pay
and
for
that right
everybody.
there will be the thing that'll get me to leave your ass at the table.
Like,
Cause you bugging the fuck out. If I said I'm inviting you out and you decide to bring your friends, I will leave you there.
What? Daddy is
I'm
not
not.
tricking?
Nah, fuck out of here. I've never been a trick,
I've
nigga.
seen so many videos lately on Facebook, and they're like, "Oh, he should pay for it." No, absolutely
Just cause,
not.
you're embarrassing me. I guess you about to be sorely embarrassed. Matter
Ugh.
of fact, you about to be
I
thoroughly
mean,
embarrassed. Cause watch how I move right now. Watch me leave.
if Megan
Watch me move in
Good
slow motion too.
did 50 Cent for a minute for a period of time, and she even talked about that motherfucker was about his money. He didn't put no money on a date. He that give her no type of money, pay for anything for her. He don't even do that. He focused on his
But she understood
business.
why.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
I get
it's
it, but
just bad
majority
investment.
of the women out there don't think like that. They
No,
think the man's supposed to be that
that's
provider, and do certain
Well, being a
things.
provider is not the problem. It's
yeah.
just
It's not about being a provider per se. It's the inequality type shit. That's what's
we're
fucking with
not
shit.
equal in reality.
No,
We're
obviously
not.
we're not. It's
But
the fact, but I mean, it's the thing of like what you expect me to do versus what you feel is adequate or to sustain this relationship is not equal. That's what I mean when I say inequality. Like
the list is longer. Their
it's
list is
way.
way
Then
longer.
not to
We got
mention
like
just
four
for
things.
for you to qualify for like a 3 now, you have to have at least you got to make $100,000, but you can't work a 9 to 5 job, and you can't have a record, but you got to be a shooter. You got to be emotionally intelligent
Or a
enough
thug at the same
to,
time.
but
They want
yo, like
unicorns. It's
Oh,
crazy.
you talking about those women that
nigga,
be
they want
posting on
alicorns,
like
my
when they be
nigga.
on those dating
Yeah.
sites and have a list of shit that they accept, and they got like 6 kids. Something. I mean, there's nothing wrong if you
Yo,
got tons of kids out there, and
but
you're a
if
single
you
parent.
no
But
no
you
no
can't
no
have
no
high
I
expectations and
that
then
part.
not to expect the person that you're having high expectations from to have high expectations themselves, and or get mad that someone else has high expectations that you don't meet, and you feel like they should lower their expectations. But then you got the same niggas at your doorstep telling you the same thing. Maybe you should lower those expectations. They're unrealistic. You're looking for a Prince Charming. There's no Prince Charming coming. That Prince Charming is not a thing. It's
not.
Well,
you
that was the
watch.
Prince Charming of the '90s and '80s.
Yeah,
I'm talking about
that's not it. Y'all want
what it costs to be that
equality and things to
nowadays.
be equal. You do things that way, or you compromise. You meet in the middle, where you determine on both parties where it is
Well, it's not
equal.
just that, but if you want a traditional man, you got to be a traditional woman.
Yeah,
Facts.
And
true.
you
There's no
don't,
way
but
that you're
then,
going.
but
Got
well,
it, got it.
that's why I said we're living in a world where the reason why, and it's not just to put it on a woman, it's just the way the world's created at this very moment. It's it's what's put in their heads,
No, it's a fact.
like
Cause this men is
to
men are
ask to be
fucking
able to get
soft
what
too
they
now.
want
There's
or
a
be able to
lot more
get.
Yeah.
soft ass niggas out here too now.
Well, it's
Like,
not
let's
just that. I'm
keep it
But
a
we're
saying
buck.
also still super simple for the most part. Soft or not, we're really simple. We're very simple creatures, men. Uh,
but it's because of what the world expects and what the molding is. Like back then, women were very much they were taken care of, but there were certain things at the home that were also taken care of because they were taken care of.
They had
So
they held certain
yeah,
qualities
they had
dear.
certain things down. Yeah, like you don't have to worry about like men back then were getting their underwear ironed by their wife, or they were getting but at the same time, look, the house was taken care of, bills were taken care of. She didn't have to worry about nothing. So
Except for that
roles were
black guy.
played. Nowadays, it's the
black guy. Wow.
I mean, if you want to look at it in that aspect, yes, that's what happened. Is it okay? No, but that was happening. But what I'm saying also is the quality of it in itself. They, because all right, we didn't. Nobody else put that in their heads. That was the government that put, women are equal. So they just want to get paid the same, but doing less the work. Once you put that in their heads already, and even like I said, my grandmother started it. She said once they started with that equal pay crap, the whole household went left for a lot of people because you threw things out of whack. So they wanted the benefits of being a breadwinner
I
for a
mean,
man from that time period. And once you do that, okay, well, I don't have to do X, Y, Z. I'm independent, 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 which is you're an adult. You're supposed to be that anyway. That's not an accomplishment, but to them it is. There's some weird reason, and that's put in their head by what the media says and what
Yeah, society.
propaganda.
Society's
What
also fuck
pretty
shit.
much put in your face. Yeah, so nobody, no, a lot of other cultures aren't screaming that from the mountaintops. It's not like that's not something you necessarily want. So that's why I said, in a sense, it has to do with that. It's not more so just like it. The dating scene in America or New York, nonetheless, is horrible.
Horrendous.
It is. It's making you like. That's what I say. It's making you consider not even going. It's making you consider going out the country.
Yeah, yeah.
Like very much. Like, it's just making
but
you
is it
consider
really
that
all
because
that better outside the country though?
yes,
I mean, I hear
Now,
people outside
yes,
the
some
country
much
depends.
complain
better.
In some
too. I mean,
places,
they view things differently. Like when it comes to like materialistic shit, it's very
see
big in the states.
the
Um,
difference. Yeah, the difference is that when niggas do that, you have to go there. You can't bring them here and expect them to still remain the same. That's not gonna happen. Like
Mm.
once they come to America, it's over. They become modernized women off the top because now they see way more shit. They're not around this is what the women over here are doing, so they have to do this shit to keep them. No, they're now seeing, okay, well, women over here are doing way less and getting way more from other men, so maybe I need to switch it up, and that's when the bullshit starts. Like literally,
Mm.
if you go and like every person that I know that I went to school with that actually moved out of the country and created a life outside of the country, their whole dating life and everything is entirely different. Business owners, the whole shebang. They took their money, went to another country and created a business and multiple businesses, found love, kept like stayed their ass out there and just lived life. They still live in life. They come back to America every now and then to visit. Like that shit is a whole different experience when it's like that versus okay, well, you find this woman who cooks clean, she does all this shit, she take care of the house. Normally, this is what she was doing, and then now you bring it to America, she
you
see
know
all
what
the
it is
bullshit
though.
that these chicks is doing. Talk about it.
So I can
Cause
break
you
that
married.
down in the dating scene. 'Cause I've been trying to analyze this myself. So in America, right? When you have your family and you have kids, you get married, you have a house, you tend to move away from your family. And how America treats it is when you start your family, that's your family. You do your things on your own or family.
Hmm.
Um, which it creates this sense of um displacency, I guess, that you come to not to rely on nobody. So you're either relying on the other person you have with, you're hoping that it's a 50-50 thing, but it's not always the case. But it's a burden because to that dating scene, you still want to date, you can't date. Even if you're married, you still go on dates. But if you don't have that, um, the dating scene seems horrible, then they become stingy. They think about the wrong things, putting themselves first. Versus in
Mm.
Europe, the date scene typically is a lot different because their families are a lot close to a lot more so than families in America.
Mm.
There's always someone there, pulling up, helping out, allowing you to enjoy that dating scene, kind of enjoy that life. Now, mind you, most people's
Pros
logic,
and
well,
cons.
yeah, the pros and cons to it. You don't want to be jumping your kids off for a dating scene. Um, but just knowing that you have a support system, that's going to back you, whatnot, um, when it comes to dating, uh, I feel they definitely have it easier over there, just
Mm.
because how how they run their life. And I mean, a lot of them don't celebrate the holidays we celebrate here, which also take money. I mean, you got to think about when you're trying to date, and I mean, they build a society because of the celebrities. Oh, we want this. You get a man to give you all this, and he do all this for you. That's what they expect. They expect those
Well,
things on
they're
a date
dictated by
now.
social media.
Mhm.
That's what a lot of these women see is that they want the
They want the
it's
life
a
they see on
social media
social.
driven. Yeah, they see all that, but and they live through a window for 5 seconds and think that's what life is supposed to be like the entire
Hmm.
time, and it's not. I mean, remember, you're looking through a window for literally 5 seconds of somebody's life, but they never. Now, if you stop and ask them, this is always the most important and funniest thing. What did it take for them to even maintain that, or even do you even know what that marriage or that relationship is like behind closed doors?
Mm.
Like, do you even know what like goes on to maintain that? They never have the answer for that. They just love because women fall in love with the look of what it looks like. They fall in love with the that part, like just that constant part. Like with life is not constantly like that. That's a moment. That's why it's a 12-second video.
See, the
Like,
funny shit to me,
he's
the
like,
funny shit
yo,
to me is the fact that they want the nigga that's already established himself and expects him to just be willing to just drop money off at the drop of a hat. Like I'm meeting him, I want him to pay for my bills and shit like that. Now, granted, there are some niggas who trick like that, but when it comes down to it, the same nigga who would legit do that for them when they have it, they refuse to be with that nigga because he's in his building stage. They rather deal with the nigga who's pre-made and accept the fact that he'll go out there and fuck around because they might get a bag versus dealing with a nigga who's building to that point because they want immediate gratification.
I would say it's also what you allure yourself to is
hmm
what you see on a normal day basis when it comes to interaction. So like when what I mean is the types of people that you come across that you're looking to talk to or you have an attraction for, that also states within yourself like that's something that you also are looking at. If you start seeing a how you say it,
Repetitive pattern.
yeah, like if you see this, like, oh, this chick is always like she's asking for money and this and that, or this chick's
Hmm.
they all are similar. That means that
That's what
you're
you're looking
already
for, or that's what you're attracting.
subconsciously putting yourself within that realm. And there's many different types of people. So I started practicing leaving certain environments and going to foreign areas that I don't come across. Like I was at an emo bar, just chit chatting, just seeing how that is. You know, and I'm like, these people are cool. They're different. You know, they have a
Emo bar
different
sounds
vibe.
wild. Where's
Yeah,
that
like
at?
I wasn't
I'm trying to
expecting
go.
anything from it, but it's
Dude, they
just
cut.
I just like to see different ways of life.
But here,
I was at a real geeky one. I go all the way downtown to
Oh
where
shit.
the so-called higher living type of people are at, see how they are, and you
Okay.
do see a difference. Like there's specific types of people that from what y'all have said, I see within our community normally, like ratchet chicks. Like that's basically what they are. If they're looking for a man to provide everything, you have to spend your money on. There's like a specific amount of money you have to make in order to talk to me. You got to pay my gas bill.
while they have
You know,
nothing, that's the funniest part.
well,
Yeah, facts.
or they have a job, or they have a full-on job making money. You can't pay your own gas. You bought the car. Why am I paying for your gas?
Because they want a
That
father,
doesn't.
not a provider. They got
Yeah.
daddy problems most of the time. So it's
One
like,
chick told me she wants. Like, I was talking to her. She told me, well, I'm just so tired of going to work. I just want a man who's gonna take care of everything for me. I don't want to do nothing. I'm
but
like,
no, but here's my
I've heard that
thing.
what?
multiple
Before
times.
before you even start that, the part that
But
I
that's
always pay attention to when that's said, which makes it hilarious, it's not the fact that you want to be taken care of. They mention nothing of what they would do for that man. It never comes out
Deadass.
of their mouth.
What would you
That's what I
do?
pay
Oh, I
attention to.
just
Like,
make sure he's happy. How? How would you do that?
how would you do? They
Oh,
never had the answer for that. I'm like, but
you
no,
know,
they have their answer.
just
I mean,
sex
it's
is the
not
only
Word.
answer.
That's the only thing
yeah.
that they can do.
I mean, it's not the only thing that they can do,
It's the only
but
thing they're willing to do.
Mhm.
Because you should,
some,
if
yeah, I
if
guess,
you
yeah.
got the
So
money. No, not
no,
all. I'm
cause
not saying all. I'm
bro,
not
but they're
saying
they're,
all.
they're out
It's not
here.
an
They're
all
out
woman
here.
situation.
It's not all just them, but I'm saying they're definitely out here in the sense of they have the mind frame to know, like, all right, like if I know this man needs this during this time, he's the head of the household, but I know he needs X, Y, Z, or I know he need, then you'll find those intelligent ones because they just know better. It's like I
I,
know I can't
which
like.
I mean,
All right, what was you gonna say?
it brings into another topic that I wanted to talk about. Now I think about it, it it kind of goes into their mindset of what their if they're how they were raised. I guess would you say when you say that?
100%. No,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. No, that whole topic of like being raised on love versus raised on survival is
Mhm.
very much crucial when it comes down to dating, especially nowadays, because that shit, like literally, you can people who raised on love, honestly, I'll say love differently versus people who were like raised on survival only expect, okay, well, you gonna show me by doing this particular action of buying gifts. Like,
Mhm.
acts of service and gift buying seems to be what like one and the same when I hear that nowadays, versus it being just words of affirmation or something something that is very much free, my nigga. Versus I want you to be able to spend this money and show me that you can, or buy this or take me here, or why is everything of monetary value? Why is it not, okay, well, I genuinely give a fuck about you. So loyalty is something that I would show you in a sense of not just love, but loyalty. Meaning I wouldn't do shit that would cause you harm in any way, shape, or form. And genuinely move according to that. Not put yourself in a situation where you could compromise that situation. Because we all
But
are human. But
that also,
there's a
that, like you said,
difference.
that falls from those that are raised, like you said, raised from
Yeah,
love,
raised on
raised
love,
from
yes.
survival. It's very
Exactly.
different. How they watched, how their mom was treated, or the single mom one is, and that goes for sons too. It's not even just women. It's like the single mom ones be just it'd be bad. But it's just like because you're getting one perspective, and it sucks because a lot of things like some people can't handle the honesty of the conversation, which
Mm.
makes the conversation taboo in certain areas, or they're emotionally attached to the conversation, which is why the learning aspect of it is not happening, or just even getting the basic, reasonable understanding of what is what and what's the reality versus the fantasy in your head of what you think it is. So it's not when you come from it's like you gotta look. That's why I understand like as you get older, people like, well, what was their household like? What's their parents? It's important because it literally controls the thinking, and it's not so many people that come out of these because there's people that come out of this situation sometimes that are very reasonable. That are open to learning and understanding that because they come from that disadvantage,
Right.
they're not gonna have. They know they're not gonna have all the answers, and they're in search of that, so they're more open. But you got some people who that don't come out like that. It's a toss up every time.
Mm.
So it sucks because it's almost like a red flag. The moment I hear, "Oh yeah, my dad was around," I was, oh shit. It's like damn. Then you're gonna have the more emotionally unavailable female that doesn't know how to be affection or doesn't know how to what you're asking for. And
Doesn't
if
know
you
how to
ask them that,
accept.
it throws them. Yeah, it throws that off. It throws them off
Yeah.
because they're like, "Why you want affection? What you think I got with you for to deal with another nigga?" No, that's not like
Yo,
you gotta like
the
be reasonable in some sense. Like, what do you think I have you around for?
nah, the
And it doesn't
craziest
mean like
shit.
you gotta provide a service. It's just think about that. Like, why do you think I'm talking to you? Because it's like there's no reason. What would be the other
Yeah.
use? Men don't be going around talking about what job you got. They don't. I mean, they ask a woman that for a very different reason, not because I need your money. I just want to know where your head is at.
Word.
That's
That's a
it. Like
fact.
I don't care. I don't want nothing from you. They don't ask. You gotta. A woman gotta have this type of job. Woman, you don't. They don't need too many things. So the things that we require is nothing of the physical. That's why when it comes to our conversation
Mm.
and what they need are two different things. Like they
Yeah.
want security, they want all these things, and to feel comfortable enough to be emotionally available around you, so they can be like that, so they don't have to be in a survival mode. Because when a woman has to go into a survival mode, she cannot be affectionate, she cannot be these things because she has to be another version of you in order to continue the cycle. But
Which
what
is
she doesn't have to worry
understandable
about,
if
yeah,
that's the case. I get that if that's the
yeah.
case. You're forced to be in that situation. That's different. But when it comes down
100%.
to it, there's a whole difference between when you are. What the hell is
Zone.
that?
That's Zone's back. I don't know what's going on with Zone's background.
That is
But
a
yeah,
commercial.
It just it just threw me off just now.
commercial.
It just threw me off. Nah, but
Mm.
like overall, it is really a complete difference because like why is it that you feel like I've been told on numerous occasions that they felt like I was cheating because of how caring or like genuine and caring I came across. And it's like, well, what like you seem like you did something wrong. Like I feel like you cheated. That's why you so nice. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, that's a personal thing.
Or the
That's a
the
personal
dumbest
thing.
the dumbest
Unhealed
shit that
traumas.
I've ever heard. The dumbest shit I've ever heard was the fact of a chick telling me that she didn't want to talk to me
Oh
anymore
snap!
because of the fact that I wasn't cheating. Like I wasn't the type of nigga that was going out there dealing with other women. She's like,
Toxic. Don't pay it no
I
more.
don't want a nigga who I don't want a nigga who like I'm the only person that wants you. And I was like, wait, what? What the fuck does that mean?
It's toxic behavior. This is now what the question of the answer all that. What's the background of our household?
Well, I don't know. I know
There you
she went
go.
to.
You don't even
I know Shorty went to a
just by the way
prestigious
that you
school.
said it.
No, 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 no,
No.
no. Here's
Nah, all that
like the
all that
chick
where
that I
she went
was
don't
not.
matter. What was her
No, no, no.
household like?
That's I feel you. I'm just saying the school that she attended. Let
Oh
it be
God.
known that she came from money. Not to mention
That's still yeah.
when I found out who her family was, I knew for sure, yo,
Wow.
there's no reason why you should be moving like this whatsoever. Like you should not be trying to be a hood chick when you don't come from a hood chick environment. Like, so there's no reason for you to move like that. But that was the same one who, oh, I want a nigga who other bitches want. I don't want just a lame ass nigga who only gonna deal with me. It was like, what the fuck does that? All right, stupid, stupid shit.
Maybe it's from the
Listen,
movies that she grew up watching.
listen. That's why I
I
said what
guess.
was it was the household. You say even if you say oh it shouldn't nah. Nah,
I'm not.
this say you.
I can't relay that information. But
uh,
when it come down to it, like yeah,
Tell you because it come
it's
from
crazy.
somewhere. It don't just pop out of thin air. That's
Eh,
just like got it. Like that's not what's happening here. It's not just bloop. This is the way my mind is. Nah, you've learned even from children are constantly recording their environment and we're learning from it where they are, which is why it's very important to watch how you move, especially when you have kids. Things that come out your mouth, they hold on to all of it. So it's like you got to pay attention to it, and you can tell some of the women. You can tell those that came with both parents just by how she thinks and moves, or how she, and vice versa. Same thing with dudes. You could tell the dudes that came from a single parent household. And I was one of there's a lot, and I say that in an unbiased way. Because I was one of them. To this day, there's certain things that I'm learning. Like you got to work out things that you don't do as this, or as that, as a man, and like because I don't care what anybody says. A woman is not going to be able to teach a man how to be a man on 100. Like there's certain things
nah,
that just
yeah,
come with
yeah,
it naturally that she's not going to be able to do. She can do the best she
True.
can. That's not downing any of them, but that's a natural order. There's a reason why there's two of them.
yeah.
Like there's a clear reason why it is, and the moment you step out of that, like being raised, and it's shown on percentage. You can look it up that most single parent households, and like I said, it doesn't down women in itself, but one with single mother household, the children usually
Oh,
60% turn to either felons, um, emotionally distraught murderers, or your all types of different problems.
Yeah.
The fathers,
Overly
the ones with
emotional.
the
Some
single
are overly
fathers.
emotional. Yeah.
No, yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So the ones with the single father households are more likely to be. It's a way less percentage, like 50 or 40%,
Mm.
something like that. So it goes to show you, yeah, like that's why a certain household. There's a reason why there was order. There was
Yeah.
standards. There was roles to be played. There was reasons for it, and the government, in a sense, or the world, and who have put that into confusion to for economic reasons. So
Mm.
finance
well,
and mental. If you really want to get into it, but we know why. At the end of the day, but
that,
it's
that
out,
that's
it's
a
out of whack.
problem. That's a problem that's going to exist and not be changed ever.
Yeah,
Because so I
it's
try not to
fear.
focus on any of that.
Nah, yeah, I
Like
don't either.
to
I'm
go
just saying
deep
as far as being
into
aware of what's
areas
what.
where
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm
But
aware.
like it's good to acknowledge like that this is what goes on. But at the same time, like when it comes to like all this also in turn you have to look at what's gonna make you a more educated person,
Hmm.
a more of an adult. Are you growing or are you staying? Are you just looking at situations and staying
Complaining.
stagnant? So if you
Yeah.
just stay stagnant, you just look at situations all day, then you're worse than the actual situation, in my opinion. You know?
To me, it's you're a complainer. So it's like instead of actually,
Yeah.
it's like you can only work on what you can work on at the same time. So that's why I say I'm not exempt from anything I'm talking about. I just learn in the day what to do, what not to do, how to communicate, what's the best forms of communication, which forms of communication are actually toxic, which forms, like things. I look into these things and what's more beneficial. Um, Regardless of what I feel, feelings come and go. Feelings change. I don't give a like. I was about to get real serious about that. That's why it's like I don't. You got to be open minded in a sense. You have to cut off some sort of emotion to what it like you're learning because
Mm.
sometimes it has nothing. Emotion has no place in. It doesn't have a lot of places. What's the best way to verbalize it? It doesn't have a need to be in a lot of situations. There's
True.
some things that you have to remove emotion from, and if you're looking for an actual answer. So that being said, and we all fall victim because we're imperfect. There's going to be moments where you may not agree because you have an emotional attachment to the situation. It doesn't call for that though. If you're actually looking for the answer, nobody asks you what you feel. What is the answer that you're looking for to fix your problem? So
Well,
you can go to
sometimes they're not looking for a solution. Sometimes they already know of the solution,
oh
but they
nah,
just want
yeah,
to vent.
yeah. They just want to vent, but to what end? That's what I mean. You know
Well,
what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Like
they're
to what
emotional
end?
creatures, so there is no end.
No, no, I'm
You
not talking
can't.
about female. I'm talking about in general.
Uh,
Like,
well,
now females we
yeah.
already know. Yeah, we already know. I don't even talk just at that anymore. There's moments where, but sometimes you gotta ask ahead of time. Do you want a solution? Or do you just want to talk? So that
Yep.
you don't get pissed off. because they will gladly turn you into a therapist every day, and it'll become annoying at some point. But you gotta ask that, like, do you want to talk or do you want to? Because for us, we just want to, as men, we just want to. I just want to solve it. I don't. I got other things
Yeah.
to worry about. Like, I got a lot of things on the list to worry about. Then they get to vent, which in reality this is why men die fastest because we keep things in and just keep it pushing. So and it's just said like and how it is, it's hard to kind of navigate that sometimes and manage it because sometimes it'll be a bunch of nothing and we know it. Like
Mhm.
I've gotten phone calls from people. So let me tell, and they start off as a woman, and they start off with that. So let me tell them, like, oh my god, and I'm
Yeah.
busy watching videos on Instagram, or I'm looking at stuff on how to learn how to do this and learn how to do this for this business that I want to start, and learn how to, And you're talking to me about some guy that constantly gives you problems, and I'm not even like, why are you calling me? Like after a while, it starts to feel like I'm gonna start charging
Mm.
you because you're
Was this
calling me
Perfect Dark?
every other
Oh
day.
my god.
Don't become that guy. That's why I was saying that when women like do that to you, I'm like, bro, hang the phone up at some point. Be like, boop. Regard, it could be nice, but it becomes wasted time,
Oh
and
nah,
you
that's for sure.
become like, yeah. I'm like,
And
nah,
that's why,
I'm not
like,
doing that tonight.
there's
Thanks.
only this. I've cut communication with a lot of people because I recognize that I'm either being hit up as a therapist or
So
attempted bank account.
that's time and emotional. Like, oh, for you, like you could be thinking
Yeah.
about something else or doing something else, and it's like, bro, this is not my problem. Like, bro, you keep coming to me with the same problem. It's a
Mm-hmm.
therapist. Therapy is really to do nothing but to trick your own mind into something that it should be able to do anyway.
No,
It's literally
like,
just to let you
all right,
talk.
keep it
All right, what
real.
did you do? You talked to somebody that just sat there and listened, but you could have figured this out if you would have calmed down and learned how to
No,
discipline
the
your
secret
emotions.
here's the secret to therapy that people don't really realize. You can continue to pay for that shit just so you can vent and whatnot, because that's what you're doing. But in all actuality, therapy is meant for you to understand or come to the understanding of why you feel this way by telling yourself the true shit and not creating
Bro,
false shit in your own mind.
they're
Because
guiding
literally,
you.
when I had my therapist, she literally told me within the first month, listen, I'm gonna make this very simple for you. My job is not to tell you what you feel or tell you about what it is that you're feeling. It's
Hey,
to have you say it for yourself so you can realize, okay, this is what it is. Once she told me that, I said, oh, okay, cool. I don't need you no more. I appreciate it.
it's
So
just
my point
perfect.
exactly.
Like, you go,
It's
it's
like,
people lean on therapy sometimes as a means of, I just want to vent and I'll pay to have somebody just to listen to my problems.
yeah, bro. And I'm like, because what they really did is what your brain. They're teaching you to teach your brain what it's supposed to do. And that's why it literally came back to what I said already. I said, bro, honestly, if people were able to just sometimes you could tell by coming from a different background, different household is learning if you're striving to be greater or a better person in general. There are certain times where the truth and what lines up is not gonna matter what you feel. It's a fact.
Hmm.
But he's worried about like you're gonna have to turn that off sometimes. Like just listen to what's being said. It may not agree with the way the way you feel or how you take it, but who in this world ever told you you're gonna hear everything the way you like to hear it? Nobody told us that from birth. So why do you think that that's gonna happen every time? That's you. That's a you problem. You gotta figure that out. All therapy did was allow you to figure that out while just sitting there going, uh huh, and asking you critical thinking questions that you should have been able to figure out or come to an understanding yourself, but you're too emotionally invested to figure it out.
Hmm.
That's it. You paid hundreds of
Oh,
dollars to do that.
on a side note, Snake Eater looks amazing.
I'm sorry.
Snake Eater?
Okay, the Metal Gear Solid.
They
Oh
re-released the
shit.
Snake Eater.
Yeah, they remade it, bro. It is insane. It was
Nah.
like a movie, man. That
Well,
game looks insane.
Go
There's
back
a
and
lot
look
of
at it.
good games coming out. Perfect Dark is another game that looks insane.
Like Perfect Dark Zero? They remade it?
No, not zero. It's not a remake. It's a
Zero Dark
continuation.
30. You said you're talking about you still talking about Metal Gear, but
Nah, Perfect Dark is a whole different, what's the name?
Mm.
Yeah, Perfect
Oh,
Dark is
different
different.
berries.
There's a lot of good games coming out for Xbox, and there's a new update that just launched for. They said tonight, which is for Starfield. There's an update. Um, I'm watching the whole festival.
But what I'm saying too, also coming with learning is you learning how to deal with women in a different way. Everything don't deserve an answer. I started realizing why some men are just quiet sometimes. Not because they're weak, not because they can't say nothing. Because when you can identify the battle and what the problem is, sometimes it doesn't even deserve an answer. Just chill for a second. Let them have their little emotional moment. Because there is no answer to it. Like, why would I sit there and invest? It doesn't mean you carry your cold. You just realize how to conserve certain energy and just be like, yeah, I'm not. That's okay. She'll figure it out in a second. It's all right. Like, I'm not even gonna give my attention. And they know this. Women know this very well. It's hilarious because they're intelligent. It's not to say that they're not intelligent at all. Women are very intelligent because it's one of their strengths. Most of the time, men are physically dominant. They have to be mentally aware and mentally strong as well. To even that has to be the other side of their strength because they're not, usually not physically dominant, right? So you got to be able to use some type of mental or something. That's why women are able to manipulate very easily. And that's a mental game. Which is why I say, when you get into conversations that like or getting sucked in, bro, don't even watch because it's a game. They
Mm.
play this from the time that they're children. Some
Time
use
to
it for
play.
good. Some women use it. No, some women use it for good to manipulate their men in the right direction because sometimes we lose our own way. And you find a woman like that, that's very special. It's like I'm manipulate, but she's doing it for the greater good to manipulate you in the right direction. Then you got women that are gonna manipulate you in a different way and you don't peep it. But if you get aware, you can peep it sometimes. You can see it from jump. So I'm saying like both sides have their strengths, but if they were properly used, that's how a house will be able to function properly. Like a woman using femininity walking into a room can quiet an entire room. Very, very quickly based upon how she uses her energy and how she knows how to move
Mm.
with respect and dignity to get every man in that room to respect her properly.
Mm-hmm.
To not even talk, but another type of chick walk in, I'm not respecting that. I'm not even paying attention to that. And vice versa, how a man carries himself.
Very true.
Demand respect without saying a word. So it's all like training, upbringing, mental, how you move, how you carry yourself, what you choose to pay attention to, what you choose not to pay attention to. It's a mixture of things, but you start learning discernment. And as I'm still learning, like most of it as I'm growing up, it becomes a tad bit easier when practice. It's not always natural, but what you practice can become natural. If you practice, hard, it starts to become natural. So it's like it's weird, but sometimes you have to kind of unlearn certain things that you have unintentionally picked up. So along with being able to look in the mirror and be very real about yourself, be like, nah, this ain't working. If I bring this to the table, it's not gonna work. If I bring, I'm starting to realize like as time goes by, unfortunately, I'm not even tooting my own horn. A lot of people don't have that. It's scary, actually. It's the reason why some things are the way they are.
Yeah.
I'm like niggas are really thinking that they walking around. Like I'm humble enough to an extent to at least understand that I'm not the best thing on like planet Earth. But niggas are really walking around thinking that.
There's a lot of niggas that feel like that.
But
Yes.
you have historically
You
some of the
feel like
most like
That's how
some
they
of the
preach
best
it.
people. No,
King,
but
king.
no, no, you're right. But I'm saying
Well, what are
historically,
you a
some
king
of the
of?
greatest men were humble for a reason. It wasn't like because they were too shy. It's like they knew exactly who they were, but they were also very humble for a reason. And that's why so much the learning capability is extended so far beyond when you're humble, past the person who's not, and they don't even realize it. It's like that's the mental game. It's like I don't gotta talk about nothing. I
Ah,
know exactly who I am, but it comes with a lot of different aspects. That's why I say all these are like kind of like tree branches that are attached to personality traits, but a lot of people don't pay attention to that and they think it's like one little specific thing. And it's like, nah, it's different aspects of your life that contribute to the way you think, move, and talk.
oh my
And
god.
Yeah, we
that's
are
all I gotta
our
say with that.
experiences. That's for sure. I'm not or
But that's why I
majority of
respect.
us.
That's why I respect what John said. That's why I've respect. I have my respect for John is completely. When I was younger, I didn't understand what the hell John was saying, but it took time to understand like why he says I go here, I go there, I go. There's a reason for that. It's not to the untrained ear,
Mm.
or to somebody who wouldn't understand why he said what he said. It will immediately go over their head like, oh, he's just trying different stuff. No, it goes beyond trying different stuff. He's
Right.
learning like
Experiencing
different.
different
Yeah,
atmospheres, different people, different
exactly.
environments,
Because as
and not
humans, we
being
don't know.
judgmental.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't know. We don't know because I didn't know, bro. That first of all, this is even a pivotal conversation piece. Because we go to school here in America, or we go to public school, we thinking like that's school all across the board. You know, there's different schools like that's only one state over that they have far different opportunities of how they learn, several different classes, credit classes, financial classes, and this is in high school that we didn't
Oh yeah.
have, bro. Like we're just in the regular school. We're just like, and this is why this prompts the conversation of why kids over here hate school because it's not as open as those school. Like in Pennsylvania or freaking in Georgia or just in general. But because we're over here and we've been in school, we think this is how school is everywhere, public school, because we see it in the movies or they went to this. Oh, it's the same. Nah, bro. Different environments got very very different opportunities, and kids are brought up very differently, which is why their mental is different.
100% accurate. Like that,
Yeah.
but that's even still out here though, because I'll use myself for instance. When I was the first class that went to like where fifth grade was the last of
Mhm.
elementary school. Like before when it was sixth grade, and then you switch over to like then you go seven, eight in middle school, and then go ninth in high school. I
Mhm.
was the very first class that was like the graduating fifth grade class. I graduated with the sixth graders. When that happened, I wound up going to a middle school that specifically was considered for the gifted. With that, it was, we had different kinds of art and shit like that, art, music classes, the whole shebang. But what it was able to do for me was the fact that I was able to go into high school with credits, which is why I was able to graduate early.
Mhm.
And like because of them, I could have legit gone to any other school because I played trumpet as well as I played a little bit of piano. I could have went to a music school. I could have went to a couple different schools because I legit filled out for a few of them.
Mhm.
That had some that specialized in trade, some that specialized in the art field, some that specialized in education. But I decided to go to my dumbass school for whatever fucking reason, and I mean, I still graduated. Like I said, I graduated early, but it was like the school I went to didn't offer me anything compared to where I could have gone. So it is
Mhm.
basically more based around our choices, I'll say, to decide to go out there and find out what's out there for ourselves versus trying to stay with friends or go to school with friends that you've made kind of thing. That's
But
that's
I
where
feel I
I
feel like
was.
I feel like that's 50-50 because a fish doesn't know it's in a pond until it's made
Right.
aware that it's in a pond.
True.
So you don't know. That's why I'm saying like what you are exposed to is what, and that really falls on as messed up as this to say is your parents. So
Nah,
that's
no,
why
actually, that falls on me because I actually
when you get
went
to a certain
against their
point,
shit. Nah, I went
when
against
you get,
what they said specifically,
they
like what
told you
they
to
said.
go explore out
When
here
they,
and
they
do X, Y,
wanted me to
Z.
go to a whole different school, and I
Okay, then
decided to
yeah,
go
that,
to
that
a.
that falls on
That
your
was
court
on
at that
me.
point. But
Yeah,
at that point, that's
100%.
what I'm saying. But if it's not made, now I'm saying there are people out here that it's not that information is not privy to.
Yeah.
And that's excuse me, I say that in the sense of like, yo, like they don't know, like, yo, I didn't know that. That wasn't like something that was brought to me when I was a like, kid at X, Y, Z. Like, you only know what you know, and you don't know what you don't know. So that's why I say that. I'm like, yo, if it was made aware, like, okay, this school system over here, this school, there's some parents that actually pay attention before they have kids. They pay attention to that. Like, okay, where are we gonna live? All right, we gotta live here. Why? Because I like this school system, I like this environment over here, I like the X, Y, Z. There's some that think that far ahead, and then there are others that don't get the chance because they're busy playing. They get caught up and they don't get the chance to even financially think of that. Or even think, like they're like, oh crap, child's coming, you're pregnant. I gotta do this. Your life ends once the pregnancy starts. Cause it's like now I gotta prepare to do something else and just rush to prepare. And just the bare necessities. And that's why I say even having kids today, you gotta make it 6 figures, bro. Like it's crazy the amount of what it costs. So I'm like, damn, like having the average household has to be making XYZ,
That's have a
or
seizure.
one person or each person in order to even make that has
No,
to be
to be
having two
honest, yeah,
jobs.
it has to be a combined. There has to be a combined at
Yeah.
least $100,000 made
And
in
that's
that
hard
household.
to have a traditional woman. This see how it all trickles down.
Yeah,
That's why I said it'd be hard to have a traditional woman to be like carefree to be able to give you everything you want.
see,
Because
this is
like she
what
gotta work, she
I
gotta
say.
work too. If you tired coming from work, you don't think she tired coming from, you know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Like
and
it's the same
that's
thing.
accurate.
I'm
That's
like, yo,
accurate.
like what? That's why it makes it hard in America. That's why I say it's not even. If we're talking about it, right? America's it's not undoable, but it is. You're asking for a lot from both. It's not just the same. It's not just one. It's like, all right, cool. I understand, like especially in America, it is crappy. It's not really made for you. Ever since they started that, the whole from back in the 90s when it started, it's been difficult. That ain't easy. So back then, my grandmother came from that time period where she just took care of the freaking house. My grandfather ain't have to worry about whether he was gonna eat. Food
See,
was
I
already
think
made
that's
when he came
different for
home.
me because my grandma took care of the house, but she also went and worked. Like my grandma was hard as fuck working. My grandpa worked.
Hmm.
She worked. She also tended to the house. She pretty much did it all.
Hmm.
For a very long
Now
time.
I got to question this because I don't know her. That's why I'm like I'm asking you. But was she was a tough lady, wasn't she? At some point,
Oh, she was very very tough. As she got
because
older,
so
she
that's what I'm
she got
saying.
lax. But I mean, like like the strictness y'all hear me with my kids and whatnot. That's all
Yeah.
from her, from how
But
she
she had
raised
turned
me.
into that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm like, yo,
So,
like, so she had to. It wasn't a choice in that point. It was because, and
but
women
I
are gonna
mean,
do it.
I also
Women
say
are
there
gonna
was
step
love
up
in
and
there
do
too,
it.
though. I mean, it
No. I
wasn't
ain't say
just
that.
like
I
I
ain't say it
mean,
wasn't.
a lot of it was survival stuff, but a lot of it was love. But like my grandma always taught me growing up, she's like, you're gonna learn how to do all this, so you don't have to depend on any woman. You know,
Hmm.
folding clothes, doing your dishes, all that stuff.
Hmm.
Um, that she was very big on making sure you had your own independence and be able to be capable of doing it yourself.
hundred
Um,
percent. Because she thought ahead. It wasn't just like I'm a Cato's own and he ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm a, whoever she had at the time in that house. It was no. I'm gonna interrupt the process. I'm gonna teach this man how to at least be self sufficient so that this no longer trickles down, whatever the situation may have been. But a lot of people don't think that far ahead. I don't think like that. It's more so because there's some women that just provide, and it's not for them because they're in a place that's not natural or a place where they shouldn't have to be a struggle. The rest of the other aspects fall to the wayside. So yeah, he
yeah,
learns how to do X, Y, Z, but he is not emotionally intelligent. So this is where he starts falling short as a husband or a man in the future because these things weren't taught to him. And whose fault? It's just the process. Yeah, I'm not sitting here pointing, any finger at one person, but it's just how the situation is. So I understand the importance of that now. And it's like, all right, cool. Well, now that you're aware, I'm thinking some people would be aware and they just too lazy to work on it. Like, I am aware. No, you could work on it. It's not impossible
yeah.
if you're that serious about it.
Unless
Like
you
if
have
you
like
really to.
a physical or mental thing that actually prevents you from working on it, then yeah, you could work on it. And even sometimes you can overcome those elements as well, depending on what
Mhm.
you're trying to work on as a goal. The
Yeah, well, that's true. That is another thing, but
last
usually
date you
starts
guys
with
went on,
what's up?
how was that?
Hmm.
You said what?
Last
Last
date.
date. I know that has probably been a minute.
Nigga,
I want to hear John's experience.
yeah, cause
John be
nigga,
having the most
yeah, go
interesting
ahead.
experiences. He be funny.
About
Nah,
what?
hit him. The most recent date you went on. How did that go? Like, what was that like?
I mean, at the age that I'm at, I'm very straight to the point. I could talk to a girl, and it becomes Like we find that we have interest in each other, and we get past the so what do you do? Where you from? Where's your family from? And then we go
Mhm.
on the first date. I took her to somewhere easy going. It wasn't crazy,
Mhm.
not expensive, and she hit me up actually. Um,
Yo.
but I try to stay as positive as possible, but also like I'm not in it for the stringing along effect. Like if I start talking to a shorty, I tell her, listen, this is where I'm looking at in my life. This is where I'm trying to go in my life. Where are you trying to go? She
Mhm.
said, where she's trying to go, and it aligned, but she had stuff that she's going through that I felt like I don't think we should talk at this time on that level
Mhm.
right now because we're just gonna have more distractions on our
Mhm.
focus. So she's like in the middle of finalizing her schooling.
Mhm.
She works, she's finalizing her schooling, and she's trying to get her life back on track,
Mhm.
mentally. So I'm giving her space, and so that's basically it. Like I become more um like straightforward on how I talk to the females. Cause all that, hey, how you doing, babe? Go to the movies, and you just let it be like a cloudy facade of a relationship. And then when things kind of go south or take a left turn, you kind of like, this chick is weird. I can't believe her. You heard what she did said to me. She stopped talking to me. She stopped texting me. But where was the foundation at the beginning?
Mhm.
Where did you create the foundation with her? Did you actually communicate? And then everyone says, "Oh, chicks, they don't like communicating. They talk about communicating, but they don't like communicating." Then how come you can't be the forefront for the communication? Why do you have to wait until situations happen for someone to communicate to you? Why can't you
Mhm.
create the forefront? So that's what I started practicing is let's talk. Like we're grown. Like I ain't in my 20s. I'm not a teen.
Yeah.
What's going on? You have a kid? You have two kids. What are you trying to do with your kid? You want me to be a father figure? Is his father around? You know, like what's the
No, you
situation
just
with
being straight up.
that?
Ain't no sugarcoat over
Yeah,
there.
like
See, I can relate
what
to
do you do
John on
for a
that.
living?
Like
You
that's
know?
my mindset's the same way. Like I would when I used to date, one of the first questions, when we're like sitting there, so that random question: do you plan on having kids in the future? Because if we ever decide to go serious, I want to know if you plan on having kids. If you don't plan on ever having kids ever, like you
We
don't
don't
want to
need
have
to talk no
kids,
further.
and yeah, we don't need to talk any further. And some of them would be like interested, want to have deeper conversations. And some people would be like, "Oh, those are weird questions." No, I'm just getting to the fucking point. Like, I'm not saying that we're gonna fucking try to have kids now, but I need to know this for future references. Like, if you want to have kids, okay, cool. What age group do you want to have kids? Because if you say you want to have kids, but then you say you want to have kids super early, and I don't want to have kids, we have a problem because you're gonna be trying to set me up. And I'm not going for
Mhm.
that shit. So I mean, asking some serious questions early on, kind of helps sets the tone. I mean, are you looking for something serious? You're not looking for something serious. So let me know because if I'm looking for something serious and you're not, there's no reason for us to talk. Yeah, we can share a drink or two, but that's about all. We'll go our separate ways after the first date. Um, but I have to agree with John, but like just starting to ask questions, and a lot of them don't like to talk. They say they do, but they don't. Um, over my years of dating, I definitely noticed that a lot of them don't like to talk. After they tell you they do, but they do expect us to do all the talking. Um, so you really can't
Yeah.
win, unfortunately. You really can't win.
You playing whack-a-mole at this point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just do your best to kind of navigate. But we definitely be
Navigate
having
the
our own
waters.
stuff going on.
But I
Uh,
mean, and hence this is why if we're talking about it too at the same time, they know they want somebody to lead because they know they can't lead. They know that. Based upon that, just that alone, they know some because I've spoken to some women like they're aware that they don't make sense sometimes, and they're 100%, and that's probably frustrating in itself. If you think about it. Like I know I don't make sense, but it's
But at
like
the
I'm
same
too
time,
deep in
we
now.
have our moments too though where
no, we
we're too
do. I'm not
deep and
saying we
it's
don't.
like
I'm not
we're
saying
just not gonna back
yeah,
down.
yeah. We know we just and we know so we know full on when we just like I'm just going against you just because like I don't care what you say. Like I'm just like we know that and we're aware when we're just being a holes like and we get it, but it's like at what point there's
But we
certain
also
things
hold
have a
it. We
time
don't
and a
take it as
place.
serious though. I
Yeah,
think though
like
we don't hold it as a grudge or or being spiteful or an ulterior motive. It's just
well
being
no, this is
playful
why
at the
when men
point.
communicate with other men, we can have a full on argument for a minute and then life goes on after that.
Yeah, we still can go
We
right
still
You
back to
guys
cool.
whatever
do
We're
the
that
like,
fuck
when
we
you
ah,
play
yo,
doing.
it's
Call
Yeah.
of Duty.
nah, yeah.
Oh shit!
No,
What
but
the fuck did Pete
no,
come
Yeah.
out there? Yo, what up, Pete?
I
it's
said
like
hello.
Yeah, I heard him say. I was just
Yeah,
yeah, we
what
got
up,
on
waiting.
Pete?
podcast right now, but it's like it's in a sense, no, like, but he's 100% right. Like I speak, I'll be straight up about it. Me and Zone could go at it. I still love
Yeah.
Zone. I don't got no beef with
Nigga,
Zone. Like
me and you
that's
go
just
at
stuff
it all the
we
fucking
go
Yeah,
at it,
time.
and I
the
could care
last time you were
less.
streaming,
Within
he
the
was
Yo,
like,
next
that
"Yo,
ass.
you expect me
within the
to
next 20
teleport across
minutes.
the bridge, bro?"
Yo, we will go back and forth about it, and like, you know what?
But within
I
the
don't
next
care. We
20
running
minutes
it right
and care
back.
less, like the conversation's
Yeah.
over with. Like you
So
care
what
less.
happened
Why?
with? We go on to the next game anyway. Fuck all that shit, nigga.
Yeah.
Anyway, like
So,
it
but
don't
that's
matter.
but you would have to. But this is why we were built to lead in that sense because stuff like that is not gonna hold over for a long period of time. It doesn't need to because we know where it stands, and that's what
That
that was
should be
then. That was
catching
there.
people though. People that don't
Yeah,
know how we
they be
normally
like,
be, they be the
huh?
part of like,
No, chill,
what?
guys. I'm like,
What the
relax,
fuck
bro,
just
relax.
happened, bro?
Yeah, relax. It's a normal dysfunctionality. Don't worry about it. It'll
Like we
blow over in
straight,
2
bro.
seconds.
This is we're
Yeah,
gonna be just fine in the next 20 minutes, nigga. The only
yeah.
issue
Don't
is
worry
with
about it. But that's why. But for them, it's different, and that's why they look they're aware of this, and and hence why we lead or we're supposed to lead, or they say, I want somebody to lead. Like I get the idea, the construct of that. It has to do more so with action and less so much with talking, because talking is there. They like to talk.
Mhm.
They like to talk. Like what I'm saying? Like they like talk for a minute, and we're more so on. I'm just trying to solve this problem, so I already know because they'll love to reiterate and come back to the same point that they talked about 400 times already.
Yep.
That we've already gotten past. Like we spoke about that last week. Why we still? I'm the type of dude. We spoke about that 10 minutes ago. Why are we still talking about that then? We came to an agreement. Yeah. Okay. So why are we still talking about it?
Cause you
I don't
know,
need.
I just feel that you don't
Nah,
take me
nah.
seriously.
That's taking up time in this conversation, and it's taking up time. We already solved that problem. Move on. Now, how you properly assess the emotion of that, sometimes for them, it's an emotional thing. They know that they spoke about it already, but it comes up on its own. So then you got to sit there and you got to play the oh no, I understand. In the back of your head, you don't care, and it sounds
Nah,
messed up, but it's like it's
it's the
not messed
truth.
up. It's just I'm just dealing. Yeah, no, it's the truth. I'm dealing with you, and I'm being considerate of your feelings. That's all that matters right now. Don't really care about the situation. No, I done got over this a week ago. Like, like I don't.
Yeah,
My
that
head is
is
on something
true.
else.
It's
But I
even
gotta
worse
sit here
in
and
the
appease
married
you.
life. I'm not gonna
Holy
hold
But
you.
shit. Time out, time out, time out. Marvel Rivals is coming to Xbox. Oh
Oh,
yeah, we knew that.
yeah.
Yeah, that been announced.
It's going down.
No,
Yo,
You're watching the
Assassin's,
direct right now.
Assassin's Creed Shadows is insane,
I can't
man.
wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Superheroes and
This
super villains. It's
so
going
you
Gears
down.
of
watched that? Are
War,
you
I'm
watching that
buying this
show?
for
You watched that
game is
showcast?
SGF
insane.
or GSF or whatever for game show, some shit like that.
Yeah,
I
the
know what you're
game
talking about.
show.
Nah, I just
It's
scrolling through
Xbox
fucking.
Xbox game show.
I'm scrolling through fucking store. That's all. Xbox store, seeing that it popped up. I was like, yes, nigga. You could. I know you gonna play as Spider Man, nigga, and you could legit swing around as Spider Man.
That's a game I'm probably not gonna get.
I will. That's Overwatch and Marvel together, nigga. I'm definitely gonna play that shit. I've watched multitudes of gameplay for it, and that shit looks phenomenal. Till they fuck it over, at least.
Fable look good.
Mm.
They showed Dragon Age. Dragon Age looks amazing.
Did I finish the last? Nah, that's Dragon's Dogma. I'm bugging. I ain't finished that either. I gotta finish some of the games. I don't finish nothing that I've been
Oh, we
playing.
gotta start. That's what we're gonna start doing. We're streaming, going through our games.
Speaking of, what we doing, y'all? We doing the PlayStation thing. We sticking the Xbox. How we rocking it? I ain't gonna front. I re-downloaded 2042. I still got Call of Duty. I got a few other games. Hypercharge.
We can wrap up this episode.
Yeah.
Todd is probably gonna have to end up going to work soon.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's right. Man, that kind of blows.
Dating.
Don't remind me.
Don't
See.
remind me.
You know, he gotta go make money for his dates.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
That's why I be telling y'all,
Somewhat.
just go be gigolos.
Go be gigolos. It's crazy.
You'd be
I
like,
admire how quiet you were for this entire question.
well, he was echoing, so I think he
Yeah.
went mute for a bit.
I was like, yo.
I would
wonder
expect
where
him to
Todd was.
pop
What
in a
happened?
couple of times. He didn't. He probably forgot he had muted himself.
I did.
He was probably commentating the whole time. Damn, these motherfuckers aren't replying back to me. No one's laughing at my joke. The fuck?
Nah, he's stupid.
Black Ops. Black Ops is now a lot different from Advanced Warfare or whatever. Call of Duty.
Modern Warfare.
Yeah, it's different.
It always was. They entirely
But
different
it's
studio.
this is really different. This is like completely your
All
control.
right. Guess we'll call it a wrap.
Oh, it came out already?
You can actually talk to
Early
you
Thanks
can
for
actually talk
tuning
to
in.
people. Try to
The
gain
Chilling with
access
Zona Company.
differently. It's like
We'll be
Hitman.
back next time till we meet again. You guys stay frosty.
Wait, it came out already?
Well,